When I ask managers about some of the issues that they're facing, one of the top answers that I get is dealing with performance issues. They'll even tell me that it keeps them up at night. So today, I'm going to give you 3 things that you can implement in order to help deal with some of that performance issue anxiety. First, it really all starts with having good selection procedures. So when you're out recruiting for candidates for a position on your team, you want to make sure that you have good procedures in place. Now, when you're looking for a candidate, you're not looking for someone who can walk in and do the job on day one. So essentially somebody who is already doing the job and you're just bringing them into the organization to do the same job. How long is that person really going to want to stay with your team before they start looking for something else? Instead, you want to be using behavioral interview techniques to ask questions about a candidate's prior experience in certain areas in order to assess whether they're a good candidate for the position. Now, behavioral interviewing techniques center around asking questions about competencies. So competencies are things like influence, the ability to manage change, leadership, business acumen. Those are all things that you want to ask questions about when you have a candidate in front of you. Now, you want to make sure that those competencies are going to align with the position that you're looking to recruit for, and then ask questions around those specific competencies for that position. Okay? Number 2, set clear expectations for the position. What I hear most often when there are performance issues is the manager telling me, well, yes, I have told them how to do that. Or, boy, they should know how to do that. If they were any good for this job, they would just know that. And then I talk to the employee, and generally the employee says, well, I had no idea that that was the expectation. So there's always this communication issue between the manager and the direct report. So you want to make sure that you are very clear in your expectations. And how I think the best way to do that is not only have those expectations written out, but also to sit down with your direct report and verbally discuss them as well. Get their buy-in, have them ask questions if they don't understand something about the expectation, but really have that dialogue back and forth. Sometimes you'll realize that you set an expectation and maybe it wasn't very clear, but having that discussion with the direct report helps to clarify the expectation. The other thing I'd like to do is make sure that your objectives are written in a SMART format. So you may have heard the acronym SMART before. And what we say with SMART is that it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant, and it's time-bound. So what are some of the most important elements there? I think the measurable piece. So you need to say what that expectation looks like when it's achieved. So how are you going to know that? Is it that they're going to obtain so many dollars in sales over the year? Whatever that is, that measurement needs to be in there. The other important thing I think that needs to be in there is the time-bound piece, to really say when you expect that objective to be completed. So if it is over a year or over a quarter or whatever that is, make sure that that's written out in the objective as well. The third thing, don't wait to address performance issues. Always do it as soon as you know it's an issue. Waiting just makes it harder on you and the employee if they know that they did something wrong. The conversation can actually be very simple. You're simply restating the expectation. So this is what we talked about. We talked about you getting so much in sales. Here is where you came in. This was your performance over here. And we have this gap in the middle, right? So you didn't meet the expectation that we talked about. So the conversation is generally very short and to the point. This was the expectation. You didn't meet it. Now we have a problem. We need to get you back on the right path again. So those are 3 simple things that I think you can do over time to try to have no sleepless nights anymore. So to recap, we want to make sure that we're implementing good selection procedures. 2, we're setting clear expectations. And 3, we're addressing performance issues as soon as they become an issue. Good luck.